Hi, I'm going to do a video playing for you the first violin part of Night Shift, and then I will talk about the shifting section that you need to work on, okay? Okay, so obviously the biggest thing to work on in this piece is the shifting, hence the name Night Shift. But I'm going to just at least briefly touch on a couple things. So first thing, we have to look at the key signature, right? So we have an F sharp and a C sharp. We're actually in, if I had to guess, I would say in B minor in this piece. All right, but the thing you have to watch out for the most is the squishy 2 on the E string, because you don't have a G sharp, so it must be G natural, which means it's a squishy 2, so it has to be right up next to your first finger. That will be very important in this song, especially when we get to the shifting section. Okay, there is also one accidental I want you to watch out for in measure 12. You'll see there that B flat, so you have B naturals first off. They didn't mark that, it's just you're supposed to know they're B naturals. And then B flat, you're going to do backwards 1, and then the next measure starts with a B with a natural in front of it, so back to the normal first finger. Okay, so watch out for that one. Okay, all right, let's now look at the shifting section. So let's start looking at 27. So at the beginning of 27, you're in first position, which is our normal, what we always play in position. It just basically means your first finger is on the first note. By the end of the measure, though, we will be in third position, so that means your first finger will be on the third note, hence third position. Okay, so you want to just start by finding what that feels like. So play your third finger, just so you know what that third note sounds like. Maybe check it with your open A if you need to, because it is an A. And now you're going to take your first finger and you're going to slurpy slide up to that A. Now it's important that you slide, because that helps us to know when to stop and how to go far enough and not go too far. Okay? Okay, and once you get there, you can check again with your open A to make sure you're in the right place. Okay, so I would practice that a lot. Until you're able to make that shift a little bit faster, a little less slurpy, and eventually you're going to take the slurp out altogether. Okay, now one really important thing that I get on everybody about is to make sure your whole hand moves together. Okay, so I see a number of things. I think sometimes people try to like shift with one finger. Like what? No, that's crazy. Or they try to shift their whole hand but they leave their thumb behind. Oh, that is the worst. Okay, so make sure you are moving your whole hand together at the same time. I also see some people like bring their thumb along later. No, move everything at the same time. Your thumb should always be right about across from your first finger. So when you land on that A, see where my thumb is? Right across. Okay? Alright, so that's the basic shift. So in 27, you're going to do that same shift, and it's nice because they set it up for you to play your third finger and then shift. So you know exactly what you're aiming for. Squishy too. Third finger, now shift. Okay, and then voila, you're in third position. It's great. So let's go over really quick what those notes you're going to be playing in the third position, what they are. Okay, so first note is A. Second finger will now be B. Okay, and that's a whole step, so there will be a space there. And then third finger will be C sharp, because we have C sharps in our key signature, right? So that'll actually be a whole step or a stretch there for your third finger. Okay? And then your fourth finger will play D. Now C sharp to D is a half step, or it's going to be, we'll think of it as a squish, okay? Okay, so it's very important that your third finger is stretched, but then your fourth finger is squished as much as possible into that third finger. Because as we go up to the fingerboard, your fingers do get a little bit closer together. Okay, you may notice this finger pattern looks very similar to the first finger scale pattern that we did. And you can try it on the G string to hear it. It's the same notes and everything, okay? Okay, those are the notes you should be aiming for. Okay, so starting in 28, it will be something like this. Okay, that's the start of it. Now that fourth finger, if you're really wanting to check it, you can also check that. Since it's a D, you can check it with your open D. Okay, then it keeps going, so. Okay, and then you will notice there in most of your parts, I think there's a big Roman numeral 1, so that's telling you to go back to first position, and now your fourth finger will be playing B instead of your second finger. Okay, now also watch out for the 16th notes. Remember there are 4 of them in a beat, so tiri-tiri-ti or pepperoni pie, something like that. To help you remember how those feel. Let's look really quick at 37. You see those notes with the slash marks on them. A lot of people mistake those for tremolos, right? Okay, in this case, a tremolo would have 3 slash marks. This one, because it only has 2, we know they're actually 16th notes. Tiri, 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 right? So you basically just have to make sure you do 4 of each of those notes. And then the last thing I was going to touch on is your pizzicato. I'm sure you're doing fine in that. I just want to make a general reminder not to pluck here, but to pluck over your fingerboard. It makes it sound a lot better, and then you don't get rosin on your fingertips. Okay? I hope that answers your questions and that you're enjoying Night Shift. It's a fun piece. Okay? Bye.